Hello everyone, this is Vicki here with you today, and I am designing for Pinkfresh Studio. This is my first video for Pinkfresh Studio, so look at this fabulous kit that I have here to show you. It's called Celebrate, and it's a collaboration with Altenew. So I'm digging into it and making something pretty, I hope. So this paper here is called Life, and it's a beautiful realistic floral across the page, and I absolutely love it. So what I want to do is fussy cut the whole thing and use that on my layout. Now this is going to take me a long time to do because it's very intricate in places, and yeah, I cut a couple of leaves off by mistake, but I can stick those back on later. So in a second I'm going to cut through powers of video, and there we go. So I've cut it out, and I'm going to use this base paper called Always, which has got some mixed media around the edges, and I'm going to sit the floral in the center of the page. So what I'm doing now is I've got the coral reef ink pads and I'm just doing a rectangle for my photo to go on top of. So it's sort of smudged on the page, much like the ink around the edges is. It works quite well as a frame for the photo. So that's Coral Reef. I did try to put a little bit of another colour in there, but it didn't show at all. So it's just really Coral Reef. And then this paper is called Progress, and it's just got a lovely ombre pink to peachy colour on it. And I'm doing one matte in pink and one matte in the peachy colour. So you can see that's just matting up to the photo, and you can still see that ink border around the matting that I did. Okay, so what am I doing next? Let's have a look. Okay, so I am pulling out the die cuts, and I'm going to add a couple of little pieces under the photo mat as well. Just add a bit of extra interest under the photo. Okay, that's a little leaf reef. Try and say that fast 3 times. And there's going to be my title, Hello Happy. It's not going to go exactly where it is right now, but that's going to be the title I use. I'm just trying out a couple of other bits and pieces from the die cuts to see what will work. Okay, and this is the reverse side of that Always paper, and I just wanted to cut a flower out from the wreath on the other side to add in. So if you have the whole kit, you'll have 2 pieces of this paper and be able to do this. It doesn't show an enormous amount on the picture. I just feel it gives it a bit more balance. I end up putting it on the right, and it gives it a little bit more balance, I feel. There we go. So that's more or less how it's going to look. I think the next thing I'm going to do is pull out some more inks, the ink cubes, and I'm going to use Candy Violet and Regal Kiss mixed together to make a purpley colour, because there's no purpley colour really on the background. Maybe a little bit at the bottom, but I just wanted to add some there underneath that flower. And I didn't put any gesso or anything else down. I just painted some onto the page. I just wanted like a hint of that colour underneath. And I do some splatters, and I also use the packaging just to smudge the edges a little bit because it looked a bit too perfect. So I got some where I didn't really want to, but I don't mind because it's a watercolour background. It sort of fits and works quite well. I think about putting some over on the right as well, which I make a little bit of a mess of. That was Raspberry Bliss. I just put a bit on there, by the way, a bit of pink there to add with it. I tried to put some on the right, but it doesn't really work. So, but it's covered by the floral anyway, so it's not noticeable. Okay. So I think I'm starting to think that I'm happy with everything, so I'm going to start sticking things down. With this big floral, I just stick the middle down. So I leave all the leaves and the buds loose, just to add that extra texture to the page. And some of them hang over slightly, which I cut off afterwards, but most of them are still within the page. So I'm just using this die cut here, and I'm cutting out the words from it first before I think it says make beautiful memories or something along those lines, and I just cut out the one word beautiful and use that. And I use the rest of the tag under as a layer. And the other tag I cut in half because you could only see half of it, and I wanted to keep it for a later layout. So I'm just sticking back in some of those leaves that fell off before when I was cutting. That leaf that I just put near the bottom was originally from where the photo is, but it actually worked out perfectly, a little spot to put the photo, so I didn't put it back there, I put it elsewhere. So sticking down the photo. And there we go, sticking that other photo, that other flower down that I fussy cut. I just use half the wreath as well. Always look at die cuts and think, if a lot of it's not going to be seen, cut it in half, because you can use it again on another layout. And it's just a way of making die cuts go a bit further. So here's my title. So I'm going to put hello at the top and happy down there at the bottom. And I just trim off a little bit more from around the photo so that happy will show a bit better. So I'm going to stick those flat to the page. I haven't used any foam on this page because I think there's a lot of dimension coming from the floral, so I didn't want to overwhelm that too much. Okay, so there's the final layout. I hope it gives you lots of inspiration for the Celebrate kits. We would love to see what you're doing on the Facebook group. Please do come and have a look. I'll link everything I used below in the comments section. And I hope to see you again soon. This has been Vicki for Pinkfresh Studio. Bye bye.